Hi, kids.
Woohoo! Yay!
Welcome to another episode of Bad Pop Song.
Mm-hmm.
So, we will be continuing to discuss Toronto International Film Festival 2024.
Yes.
I'm not done.
Oh, there's more. This has turned into a trilogy.
There is more. I am Bo.
Hi, Bo.
That's Dan.
I'm Dan.
He's got some housekeeping for you.
Yes, you need to go over. You must absolutely go over to badpopsong.com. I would say stop this video and go over there now, but maybe you should watch the rest of this video and then you can go now. I'll remind you before we go. Over at badpopsong.com, you can see previous episodes or listen to previous episodes. Check out some music videos by Bo himself. And check out some stuff that he's written up there. Get your daily dose of Bo at badpopsong.com.
There's as much Bo as you could possibly stand.
I can stand quite a bit.
Oh,
I think I made that joke before.
you flatter me greatly. So this episode, I am way excited about because I want to talk about like my all-time favorite films of TIFF this year.
Ooh. That sounds great.
Yeah.
Tell me.
Okay. So I'm going to start off with probably my second favorite film.
Okay.
I have the top are like top twos.
Okay.
Yes, but this is probably my second favorite film of TIFF.
All right.
It is a crime thriller called Emilia Pérez.
Emilia Pérez.
Yeah, it's directed by Jacques Audiard, famous French director.
Okay.
Well known for many things, including the Matthias Schoenaerts and Marion Cotillard film Rust and Bone.
Okay.
So yes, Emilia Pérez is about a powerful Mexican drug lord named Manitas del Monte, who seeks out a lawyer by the name of Rita Mora Castro to assist him in transitioning. And he needs her to find the surgeon and to relocate his wife and family, for their own safety and protection. So, wow, I love the look on your face.
Wow, oh gosh. Okay, so a drug pin warlord decides that he is no longer a he and is a she.
Intimidating, like cartel drug lord. Everyone fears him, and he's ruthless and he kills everybody. So,
and then hires a lawyer to help them get their life in order.
Yes.
Is there an ulterior motive of just trying to get out of the drug business, or is this just following their true self?
It is following their true self.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
This is so weird.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me more.
Well, they stage his murder, and the full transition, surgery, everything is successful, and she is able to start her new life as Emilia Pérez.
Okay. I was wondering where that name was going to come in.
And it all takes off from there.
Okay. So this is like just the first 15 minutes of the film.
Yeah, pretty much.
Figuring this stuff out.
Yeah, 15, 20, yeah.
Jeez.
It's a
roller coaster ride of a film, I guess.
Okay, I can't wait to see the look on your face.
Oh, there's more.
When I mentioned to you that on top of everything that I just mentioned, this is a musical.
Oh my goodness. Really?
Really?
Oh my goodness. Okay, tell me more.
It's crazy too.
Oh my God.
I had been reading all kinds of buzz. Not so much about the plot, but just on how this was something out of Con that everybody was losing their minds over.
Okay.
And because I was reading about like all the films that like blew everybody away at Con, and Emilia Perez was one I was reading about. And again, it was really it was really more just about the performances and so there's Carla Sofia Gascon, and her performance is fantastic because she plays both.
Oh,
She
pre and
she plays she plays pre and post transitioning.
Wow.
Of course, the post transitioning is who she is in real life.
Yeah.
But anyway, I was reading about how like mind blowing her performance was. I was reading about how Zoe Saldana is in it. I was reading about how Zoe Saldana's performance is incredible. Selena Gomez is in it. Her performance is incredible.
Wow.
Those three names were enough for me to like, oh, if this is playing at TIFF, I'm gonna see it. And lo and behold, I saw it, and I was like, oh sweet, Emilia Perez. Okay. That's about as far as I knew. That's about as much as I knew about the film.
Okay.
I knew it was about some drug lord, and that was it. So I didn't know it was a musical. I didn't know it was a musical. Isn't it a shame how little homework I did going into this festival?
In a way, I think it may have helped because you just came into these films with expecting nothing and being pleasantly surprised.
Well, let me sort of discuss like before I go in any my Bowland sort of anything else you wanted to add or ask?
No. I'll save questions until after you've told me how you saw this film.
So I'm sitting there, and then the first few minutes of the film, you learn about the Zoe Saldana character, the Rita Mora Castro, the lawyer.
Okay.
And she's really disgusted with her job because her boss makes her defend all these criminals, and she has to get them off, and she does. She
is a successful defense lawyer.
Yes, she's a successful defense lawyer, and she's just disgusted by it. And so she's kind of going on about that, and then she's out in the big city in Mexico, and she's just whatever, getting her coffee, getting her dinner, whatever. And as she's walking back, she's walking toward you, you see a city, a city full of like huge crowd of people just walking up behind her. And that's when it hit me instantly. I said, oh my God, what is this? This is like Evita.
the music swells. Yes. You can tell there's going to be a song coming on.
I was like, what is it? Is this Evita? So
almost the same.
And then she busts into song, and then all of the people on the streets in the city are breaking into song and dancing, and it's quite glorious and epic. And I realized right then and there I'm watching a musical.
Oh my gosh. Oh wow. So how was the music?
Music's great.
Okay.
Music is great. The performances are great. The singing is great.
That was one of the other questions. We know Selena Gomez can sing, but everybody else did okay.
Selena Gomez, before I answer that question, Selena Gomez too, she has actually, kind of one of her big numbers is quite it's like Selena Gomez. Oh, whoa.
Hey now.
Say that.
All right.
So yes, the Carla Sofia Gascon, Zoe Saldana, beautiful. They did wonderfully. Their numbers were definitely
top notch.
They hit the nail. They they sing, and they sing well. So
and the music did a good job of forwarding the plot and the characters, because that's always been a gripe of mine. Watching Broadway musicals, for instance, is that they have at least the older ones have a bad habit of plot and action, character development stop let's sing a song for 5 minutes, and it has nothing to do with the rest of the.
No, every song has to do with what's happening in the film.
Okay.
And what's going,
it actually adds
and what's
something
going
to
on
it.
with the characters and their arc and things like
Okay.
that. So yeah, none of that. None of the just for no reason. Hey, let's
put in a song because we need a songbook.
No, everything fits. All the songs fit into the story and are all about, you know, their art. It has to do with their arcs and where they are in this particular point in the film. Yeah. So what do you got to ask me?
Oh goodness. Trying to think of anything else I want to know about. Who wrote the music for this? Do you know?
You know what? I didn't even research that.
It's a musical, man. You got to know who wrote the lyrics and the music.
I know. I didn't even research that.
Oh no!
You want me to look it up real quick?
Go up. I'll vamp. Thinking of other stuff. So was Zoe Saldana's first song the "I Want" song of this? Because, you know, good musicals, yeah, everybody sings about what their wants are.
It was just a powerful song about, like, just I hate my job.
Okay,
you know, I put these.
Well, that's her "I Want" song because she wants a better life.
These creeps, you know, are clearly, you know, they get away with stuff, you know, and yeah, that's
was there a lot of choreography? Was it a song and dance number, or was it more like Les Mis where they just sort of sang while acting?
They would sing and while acting, but there is some choreography, not an overabundance of it, but there's enough choreography in it. I mean, you know, because you have the background people are you know, you need them. You need some choreography from them. You know, you know, whoever is, you know, part of the particular scenario in the scene, whatever. So
they're sort of dancing their moves as they're getting coffee or whatever.
I think they're dancing their moves, or they're, you know, they're just, or even just being in the office or something, or
synchronized stamping or what have you.
Synchronized stamping, yes. But yeah, I was really very impressed with the film. I've been kind of telling everybody, you know, since I've seen it, it's unlike anything I've ever seen before. You know,
I mean, it's definitely a topic that you don't normally see in movies,
because you've got the gritty, like, drug cartel kind of you know, stuff that's in the beginning, and then on top of that, you kind of have like this campy soap opera sort of thing on top of it, and then it's a musical, and then it's
so many different genres tossed into one that it wouldn't necessarily work with each other otherwise.
It is extremely unique. Absolutely.
So at some point, does the criminality come back to haunt our main character? You know, just does it do the bad
kind of
show up at some point?
They're kind of two main characters. Like, there's the Zoe Saldana character, and the Carla Sofia Gascon character are really the two main characters. And yes, it all comes back to haunt them. Yes.
You never can get out of the business 100%.
Oh my god, it's so funny you said that. I mean, you being someone that hasn't seen the movie,
right?
I just think it's funny you mentioned that, because I kind of thought the same thing. Because, you know, when the transition with the Emilia Pérez character is successful and over with, you know, the excuse me, the Rita character, the lawyer, you know, she kind of thinks, okay, that's it. I'm you know, I'll never
over with that.
Never see her again.
Yeah.
And she does. And it's funny. I thought that same thing. I thought, oh my god, she's like Al Pacino. She's like, just when I think I'm out, they pull me back in. So yes, the music that you so astutely asked me about. The score is by Clement Ducol, and the songs are by Camille. So I don't know. So if those two names mean anything,
I have no idea
to you.
Another one named person. Somebody will know about that. Leave a comment in the under the video if you know who these people are. Educate us. Help us understand who they all are. So, I'm French director about Mexican characters. I'm assuming they all speak English.
No, they speak Mexican. They speak Spanish.
Really?
Yes.
The film, the music, everything is 100% Spanish.
No. Those songs are in English, but they speak Spanish when they're not singing.
Really?
Yes.
That is weird. Yeah. There's so many layers of weird to this film.
I just say this is unlike anything I have ever seen before. This is one of the most unique movies, which is, and again, like coming out of Cannes, everyone lost their minds. They were just like,
for good reason. I mean, I'm intrigued.
Well, I think again the Carla Sofia Gascon performance, again, like her playing both Manitas and Emilia was beautiful. And even though Manitas that character is not that much in the film, but the fact that she still had to like make herself look like this intimidating, tattooed,
gruff and
like diesel gruff, like
dangerous looking,
dangerous drug lord guy. I mean, it was so beautifully done, and she even like changed her voice to sound like very masculine and very intimidating.
That's impressive,
and also too the two different the changes in their personalities and who they are as people. I mean, her transitioning fully to Emilia Pérez is who she was meant to be, and it made her, I think, a better person of than she was when she was Manitas. So
interesting.
And I, again, without giving too much away, it's such a great performance, and I can't talk enough about Zoe Saldana in this. She's incredible. It's just a great performance. But she never puts out like anything bad anyway. Most performances I've seen her in, she's good. Even in silly comedies, like the Ashton Kutcher movie where the white guy's meeting the dad and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, right,
yeah. Silly stuff like that. She's good at it, and but yeah, she never puts in a bad performance. But she is particularly amazing in this. But there is Oscar buzz for her, Carla Sofia Gascon, and Selena Gomez.
Very nice.
Yeah, and Selena Gomez is wonderful in it too. She's a sporting character, but still quite pivotal to things.
Interesting.
So I want to mention too, Carla Sofia Gascon won Best Actress at the Cannes.
Okay,
and she's the first openly trans actor to win an award at Cannes.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's exciting, and
should be interesting to see what happens around Oscar time.
Yeah, it's funny. You would have thought that, like, maybe. I mean, I like this movie. This movie ranked definitely higher than On Swift Horses. So you think you would think I would have made this like my LGBTQ pick or something, but no, I don't know.
This sounds like it has a lot more going on when it's
right.
not just about the transition.
Right.
There's a lot more goofiness going on. It sounds. Is it trying to be funny, or is it trying to present it very dramatically?
No, it is trying to be funny. Like,
okay,
the campiness in it.
Yeah,
I think that there's where the humor is in the film.
Okay, so
Because-
it makes sense to be a musical and all that.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
And I think
It's
it's
just silly.
some ways, I think Jacques Audiard is in the campiness of the film. He is paying tribute to Pedro Almodovar, because he's in the all the Spanish language films that he's made. There's so much camp in Almodovar. There's just I mean he's gay, of course, but he's he features gay characters, and the women in his films are so camp. And there is Emilia Pérez is not like loaded with camp, but there is camp in it.
Okay.
And
it doesn't take itself too seriously.
I do think that, but it's still gruff and hard hitting and violent and impactful. Yeah, there's still all that. There's still there's the musical aspect, and then there's still like there's guns and shootouts and all kinds of things in it. So
for everybody here,
something.
So is this why it got your number 2 pick? Is because it's just so outlandish and strange.
I don't even want to call it outlandish and strange. I thought it was really beautiful, and again, I can't stress this enough. I've said this like a million times. It is unlike anything I've
that's
ever
what I mean.
seen. Yeah. It is. It is
wholly unique.
It is wholly unique. And it was like a morning screening too. And you want your morning screenings to be like that, because you're just like
yeah, you want something that'll help you wake up.
Got my Tim Hortons in hand. It's like I can't handle anything too too dialogue heavy or too
it requires me to pay attention,
just too emotionally intense or whatever. Yeah, exactly.
I don't want to think
too much. You don't want to anything that's going to take so much of your attention, because it's hard. You sort of have to pick that right morning film. I mean, that doesn't factor into anything. If your morning P&I is your morning P&I, and that's what you don't decide whether or not it's gonna wake you up or it's just gonna put you to keep you
lull you back to sleep.
But you hope that it's something that's gonna keep your attention,
right?
Because you've gotten like 4 hours of sleep prior.
Hopefully a little bit more than that. But so I ask you every one of these movie episodes. You're having a film festival of your own from Saturday at noon till Sunday at noon. I'm assuming you're going to show this at your film festival, obviously. So when are you going to show it? Are you going to make it the morning show like you did, like you saw it?
Well, no, because those were press and industry screenings. Again, we don't. The press and industry do not have the luxury of seeing films at normal hours.
It's just all day.
That's the beauty of press and industry screenings. They're from morning till night, and depending on what the buzz is, you got to stand in a long line if you want to be guaranteed a good seat, because it's first come first serve.
That aspect of it still to this day just makes me go, ooh.
But we're talking public screenings here for my festival. So yeah, Emilia Pérez is prime time. That is 8:00 on a Saturday.
There's a lot in there to appeal to a wide range of people, huh?
Absolutely.
The people who like musicals, the people who like shooting, the people who like transitions.
Absolutely. This movie has to be a prime time, Saturday night film. So
very appealing. It'll be interesting to see how it does in the award season.
I am too. I am really interested in seeing how well it will do come award season. I'm interested in a lot, especially after just after coming back from TIFF. So
that's your number 2 film.
That's my number 2.
What are we going to discuss next?
My number 1 film
Okay.
I actually have 2 number 1 films.
Of course.
But I'm going to discuss with you one of them, and the other one I'm actually going to write about.
Okay. Another reason why you should go check out badpopsong.com.
Yes. I will mention before I discuss this with Dan, what tied with the film that I'm about to talk about is a film called Anora, and that is Sean Baker's latest. And it is surprisingly, I'm not a Sean Baker fan.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't a fan of the Florida Project. I was much more of a fan of his first film, Tangerine. So, and then I like Red Rocket. I just thought sort of went off the rails, but that's neither here nor there. So, I was lucky, but I was still fortunate enough to see Anora as a public screening.
Okay.
And I would have seen it. I was lucky enough because my buddy Brian, who lives in Waterdown, Ontario, he got tickets for it.
Hey,
and he's like, "Hey, come see this with me. I know how much you love Sean Baker."
It's like a dare.
I've seen it because it won the Palme d'Or.
Okay.
And you don't miss the Palme d'Or.
All right.
Palme d'Or comes to TIFF. You
make it.
You see that shit. So yeah. So Anora, I am doing a written piece on Anora. So look out for that. But I'm very much looking forward to talking with Dan about The Piano Lesson.
The Piano Lesson.
Yes.
Okay.
It is directed by Malcolm Washington, who is Denzel Washington's son.
Ooh.
Stars his other son, John David Washington, who we all know, very well established, many action sci-fi type films.
Okay.
Danielle Deadwyler is also one of the stars of the film. She garnered a lot of praise in award season for playing Emmett Till's mother in Till. Of course, Samuel L. Jackson is in it.
With that, yeah.
Ray Fisher, who of DC fame, he's in Justice League, and as well as Michael Potts, Stefan James, and Erica Badu, sort of rounding out the cast.
Okay,
but it is a brilliant, I mean, amazing. I sing this film's praises, and I'm hoping that it will do really well in award season.
Okay,
because it is one of the best movies I have ever seen. And I always talk in extremes, but this is such a good film. Anyway, it's a very brilliant film adaptation of Pulitzer Prize winning August Wilson's play. So if you're familiar with August Wilson's stuff.
Nope.
That's okay. So shall I jump right into it, or do you wanna...
go in?
Okay,
tell me about this thing.
Basically,
only told me it's a cast.
Basically, the plot of the Piano Lesson. It's 1930s. Boy Willie, who's from Mississippi, travels to Pittsburgh, where his uncle Doker and his sister Bernice live, and he's there to reclaim an heirloom piano that has these beautiful carvings of the faces of their family members who were slaves.
Oh.
And he's there so he can retrieve the piano, sell it, and buy land in Mississippi that their family members were enslaved upon.
Oh, wow.
Yes. The conflict is between he and Bernice, his sister, because she's not given up the piano.
Right.
Yeah. And although she doesn't play it, she doesn't touch it or anything.
It just, she has it as, the heirloom.
It's the heirloom. Said,
yeah. I think it's a piece of the family.
And her daughter takes like piano lessons on it too.
Okay.
Yeah. But that's pretty much the extent of the use of the piano. And of course her daughter's just beginning too, so it's not getting a lot of play. So there's that conflict between sister and brother, and in that reveals seriously haunting family history. And along with that, you get this really creepy ghost story that is unfolding.
Really?
in the midst of all this.
I was not expecting a ghost story out of this.
Yeah, there is
I was expecting family turmoil, and that's it.
It's family turmoil and a really creepy ghost story that somehow is involved in the family history.
Okay.
So, yeah, I'm ready for you to.
Oh man. So how much does the creepiness play into it? Does it turn into just a spooky paranormal movie?
Well, it's a bit of a bit of it is sort of like a haunted house kind of a vibe of a type of a film. It's not overly like haunted house type movie, but that there is a haunting.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That factors into the piano somehow.
And that factors into the piano and the conflict between the brother and sister and everything you're learning about their family history, which you see a lot there's a little bit of it in the beginning. That you see. So it's just so well made. It was just so well shot. The edits and the performances particularly. I mean, I don't want to say this, but I feel like I have to, because he's John David Washington. He's so well established. We've seen him in so much now, and I don't know that it's fair for me to say this because but I feel like this is his career best. I've never seen him pull off a performance like this, and he's such a huge part of the film. He probably has some of the most dialogue in the film, and just his anger and his passion and his wanting his retribution for what happened to his family and everything, and
not to mention the fact that it is the Great Depression, right?
Yes, it is,
and so money is tight.
Yes. All the performance, I can't praise the performances enough. It's not just John David Washington. I mean, of course, Daniel Deadwyler is, if she doesn't get nominated for this, I will lose it.
You will lose all respect for.
We're so used to Sam Jackson to just being Sam Jackson.
Yeah.
That it's just aggressive
and in your face, just sort of like loud.
And you particularly think about him like in the Marvel universe and everything. This is probably his performance in this movie. It's probably the most tame. And it's also one of his better kind of somber performances because he's Uncle Doker and he's just trying to keep the peace, and the brother's trying to Boy Willie is trying to convince Bernice to like give him the piano and everything, and Uncle Doker's like, I'm not involved in this. You two need to work this out on your own, and the whole time, Daniel Deadwyler has been seeing the Bernice character has been seeing a ghost in the house, and he's so the Uncle Doker has this great scene with one of the supporting characters, just like a friend of the family who's also like a performer, a singer. So they're having this conversation out on the back porch, and Uncle Doker, like just out of the blue, says it so matter of factly, I saw that ghost too. and you see, I mean, Bernice seeing it, you see Daniel Deadwyler, her reaction to seeing the ghost is typical. She's horrified, she's terrified, she's screaming, she's crying, of course, because she's seeing this ghost, and it's a ghost of a very menacing person, but then Sam Jackson, he just says it so matter of fact.
I saw that guy.
I saw that guy. I didn't say anything, but I did say
whatever.
He's here. So that's why his performances is so great. It's a great performance. Ray Fisher plays Boy Willie's kind of sidekick, his buddy that he brought with him to help load the piano and stuff like that.
The muscle.
They're also trying to make some money because they're selling some fruit, like out in Pittsburgh, so he can have more money for his to buy the land.
Right.
So yeah, Ray Fisher, he puts in a really good performance, and has somewhat of a minor kind of a love interest for Bernice. So it's I can't say enough about it. It's just, there's a scene too with the men, the Michael Potts character who I was talking about earlier was out on the porch with Uncle Doker. He, Sam Jackson, and John David Washington have this scene where they're in like the dining room and they're singing this blues spiritual
presence.
Kind of they're singing a blues spiritual song, and they're singing it a cappella.
Ooh.
And it's incredible because they're like stomping their feet and they're hitting the table, and it's just such a great it's a great musical number, and it's one of the highlights of the film, and it's very moving and it's very powerful.
Fills you with Jesus.
Well, it just sort of fills you with, again, this is the Black experience. I mean, they're singing the Black spiritual. So they were, and that's what Black spirituals are about, about the Black experience and the hardships and that. And then, but they just sing it so beautifully, and the way it was choreographed, it was just so well done, and it just sort of adds to everything that contributes to the film. The ghost story and the piano and the conflict between brother and sister and that sort of thing. So
how did you find out about this film?
I was reading about the piano lesson before I left.
Okay.
And
one of the few films you actually did some research on.
I read about it, and I was reading I was reading the synopsis. I like August Wilson.
Okay.
So this was probably already going to be on my list. But TT pushed it up for me. It was going to be sort of maybe later in my schedule, and he and Kevin, I think, saw a public screening of it the night before. That was my family night. So I probably would have been with them if it weren't for the family night. So they saw the public screening of the piano lesson. So they were lucky enough to see the whole cast and the filmmaker and everything, and I don't know if they stayed for the Q&A, but they saw all of them on stage. They do that first. They bring out at the public premieres, they bring out the talent and the filmmakers first, and then they show the film. And they let you know, okay, they're going to be here afterwards, so you're going to want to stick around. So, I got back that night, and they both looked at me and says, "Drop whatever you're seeing tomorrow morning. There's a morning screening of Piano Lesson." He says, "Drop whatever's on your schedule. Wow. See that tomorrow morning." I was like, "I'll do it."
Yeah, you listen to those guys.
My boss tells me to do something. I got to do it. So I was just, and then three of us just, after I saw it, the three of us just couldn't stop talking about it.
Oh wow! So it's one of those films just sticks with you in eternity afterwards.
Oh, absolutely. This movie has just stayed with me. It's one of the movies I think about it often. I would love to see it again. And speaking of which, it is. Well, did you have anything else you want to?
No. Keep going.
It is still currently playing the festival circuit.
Okay.
It did premiere at Telluride. Played Toronto, obviously. Will be in Chicago's festival, which is later in October.
Okay.
And it will have a limited U.S. theater release I thought I put that down.
Uh-oh.
There is I think it's November 1st. I think
Sometime before the end of the year.
sometime in early November, there's a limited theater release in the U.S.
Just to make sure it gets in for awards.
But it officially hits Netflix on November 22nd.
Netflix?
Yes.
It is, yeah. I've seen that happen a few times now, where things, they just are shown in a few theaters and then they go straight to digital.
It goes, yeah. I think it's a good marketing strategy for Netflix. It works for Netflix really well. I think it's gotten them. I think that's why a lot of the Netflix films have gone on to do well in award season due to that marketing strategy. So I'm hoping that will do the same for the piano lesson, because this film is amazing, and I think everybody should see it. Everybody.
It's the impactful film of the year.
It is impactful, and it's impactful without being I don't know how do I say this. It's not triggering. You know, you're not gonna see there's not really, I mean, other than the ghost stuff, you know, there's not a lot of disturbing things, you know. There's
it's just pure drama.
It is pure drama. And you know, and not that triggering things aren't necessary. I mean, I think
sometimes you want to be triggered.
Yes, yeah. I mean, I think we need that to tell a story. But I'm just sort of, this is how I'm promoting the film. This is how I'm getting. This is how I want to tell everybody to, like. This is why
you're so jazzed about it. You need everybody to
see this film. You know, it's so beautiful. It's impactful. It's powerful, and it's just really good storytelling. It's such a good adaptation of a really good play, and I can't, again, I if this does not do well in award season, I will be really upset. So
we'll see Bo start to riot.
So there, I mean, I
just flipping cars and everything.
I've discussed one of my favorite films. The top 2 films made the number 1 for me: The Piano Lesson and Anora. And again, Anora you will see as a written piece. So
here's the question then. Well, we'll ask about this. I'm assuming in your articles you don't talk about our meter, which, did we ever name it? I don't remember. It's been a while since we've done it.
Oh, where this
film festival?
Yeah, the whole film festival meter.
I thought we came up with a name for it, but I could be wrong. Anyways, so do you want me to ask you about Anora, where you would play it in your festival?
Yeah, I can answer the question for both films.
Yeah,
both Anora and Piano Lesson, I think, should be seen a little later than 8.
Okay,
I'd probably put it around a 9 o'clock show.
Okay.
And I would definitely want some kind of Q&A or discussions afterwards.
They both warrant.
They both warrant that. They both warrant like some kind of discussion afterwards. But yeah, I would put them. You know, it's like when you go see a band and the headlining band plays kind of late, you know, but they're not like the last band,
right?
But they're just big enough that, like, hey, people are gonna still want to see it at like 9:30.
The prime time of when everybody is available.
Yeah, but to me, I think it's even more important than like a 7:30, 8 o'clock kind of a showing, because, you know, those of course are going to be just the fun stuff,
the mass appeal.
The mass
have to really consider it too much.
Yeah, although Anora is a really fun film,
okay,
but there's a lot in it that needs to be discussed.
Okay,
yeah. So Anora, Piano Lesson, I would put it like around 9:30.
If given the chance.
At night, 9:30 p.m.
9:30 p.m.
Yes.
If given the chance, would you have the Piano Lesson playing throughout the day or throughout the entire 24 hours?
The Piano Lesson, probably films like Piano Lesson and Emilia Pérez will probably have a re-showing around the matinee on Sunday.
Okay.
Yeah.
The when the everything's wrapping up, they'll
Right.
have those.
It's like if you miss the excitement of Saturday night, you'll get to see it
Second
Sunday.
chance.
You get a second chance Sunday in the late morning, early afternoon.
That'll have to be something they'll have to ask you whenever you mention because you have a habit. Not say it's bad or anything, but you have a habit of putting things in prime time. I'll have to ask you then, follow-up question. Does this have an extra play?
Well, I have a habit. I've had a habit of doing that. Discussing TIFF 2024
TIFF ones, yes.
That's how many good stuff. That's how many good films that I've actually seen.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I'm checking on because I have a description about the film festival thing on the website, and I'm trying to remember if I have called it.
He is at badpopsong.com.
Oh, I call it Friday. Oh no, what do I call it? Yeah, the Morganometer. And then I just call it for the films. I just call it the Friday and Saturday time slot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's Friday to Saturday.
Well, I probably have to reword this more to how you actually ask it, but
I do it Saturday to Sunday because I figure more people are available to do a 24-hour thing. Friday it's at noon. People are still at work.
No, see, I would do my festival sort of like a comic expo. Like I would start it like Friday night.
Yeah. And have it go until Sunday afternoon.
Sunday afternoon. Yeah. So if that's okay with you.
Oh, maybe I'll have to expand the meter a bit.
Okay, so what you last said, you're gonna start asking me, okay, is this if
it's gonna get a replay?
If it's prime time, do I give it a replay the next day?
Yeah.
Okay. That's a good question.
That is a good question. I'm glad we thought of it.
I'm glad you thought of it.
Anything else you want to discuss about TIFF?
No, I am pretty done with TIFF.
How was Toronto? Thrilling as always.
Toronto is, again, it's just a whirlwind of fun. It's so fun to be in the city.
Toronto's a cool city.
It is one of my favorite cities, and I have been there enough. It's great when you go to a city enough and you have all your favorite places to go, and you to be able to just rely on that is so nice. And everybody laughs at me at this, but my favorite place to eat in Toronto is the A&W that's right across the street from TIFF Lightbox, because, well, first of all, everything in Canada tastes better than anything in the US.
Oh yeah.
And that A&W is amazing because they give you a nice big frosty mug of root beer. They have all day breakfast. And it's 24 hours. And their onion rings are unlike anything you've ever had before. So trust and believe, I spend a lot of time.
You set up office there.
I do spend a lot of time at the A&W across from TIFF.
If we don't see you in the film, in the theater, then you're probably there.
And there's always there's two Tim Hortons that I hit. There's a Tim Hortons.
You always got to do some Timmies.
There's a Tim Hortons that I hit in the right before my morning screening. That's right across from Scotiabank, which shows many of the press and industry screenings and a lot of the public screenings too. Mostly the P&I though. So, but depending on where we stay too, there was an actual Tim Hortons that would buy like our apartment that I would just swing by before I would. So
wonderful.
Yeah, and it's just so nice. There's District, which is a really cool restaurant. Everything there is very like wholesome and fresh. It's called
Farm to Table.
Very farm to table.
Yeah.
It's a District brewery and pub, and it's directly across the street from TIFF Lightbox. And it's the first place we eat the night we get there. Usually my choice.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I might win that vote next year. I might lose that vote next year.
Yeah.
But it's been the first place we eat when we get there Friday night. Oh, I'm sorry, when we get there Wednesday night. So, and then I ate there again with my buddy. I love District. They just, everything is, it's like you order something like fish and chips, but then it's done in a very wholesome, healthy way. The breading is like kind of almondy, and it's not heavily breaded.
Okay.
And I got they serve these Brussels sprouts that are just they're like as big as my head, and they're just so well roasted, and they're just so delicious and yummy, and it's just I don't know.
Yeah, you char some Brussels sprouts and some bacon fat, and they're just miles above.
I think it's called the bourbon chicken, but yeah, I think that's what it is. It's I think that first night I always get like the bourbon chicken, and then it comes with rice, and then like I order a side of veggies, but it's actually like a big bowl of like veggies and giant Brussels sprouts, and it is just the most wonderful thing.
So what's the next film festival you're doing?
That is a very good question. We are very busy planning Over the Rhine International Film Festival.
When is that this year?
It'll be in early March.
Okay.
And we are in the final stages of selecting films for that. So I've been very busy. The programmers have been very busy just finishing up watching all the submissions. And so yeah, it was a lot of fun this round. We had to submit, like there were 150 submissions, and we had to pick like our top 20 to 25 shorts and our top like 10 feature films.
I know that's hard for you to do.
It wasn't that hard. The longer you do it, the process it gets easier. Gets easive. I don't know. I think I just know what to look for now. I've done this enough, and I've programmed long enough to sort of trust. Earlier experiences, it was always tough because I would see something that's not so great, but it fit really well in our track, and I felt like if we didn't have enough of those, okay, well maybe
that sorts of films.
Yeah, but I've really learned, if I think it's crap, it's crap. Don't worry about it. And
there's always something else that'll fit in that spot.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, then.
If I could quickly find something, I'm just looking.
Yes, please do.
I do want to mention some honorable mentions.
Okay.
And I just want,
other than the 6 that we've discussed, I just want 7 if you include the one you're going to write an article on.
Yes. I can't remember.
How many films do they usually show?
There it is. How many films?
How many films do they usually show at TIFF each year?
God, what a question! Hundreds.
Really?
Yes, hundreds.
Like, how do you decide what to watch?
And this wasn't I think I was talking about earlier in the earlier episodes. I was talking about how, I've had to scale things down. I don't see as much because I have to take time, to eat properly, shower,
take care of yourself,
shit, and sleep. So, but I actually, I saw a little more than even with the there were days where I just didn't see as many stuff. There were days where I just there was this one day, I think Thursday and Friday, it was just back to back, like morning, couple afternoons, and an evening. So I had like
so much film.
I had 4 films on a Thursday and Friday, and then I was getting up at like 6:37 in the morning.
Ugh.
Saturday, I saw a morning screening with TT, and I was like, I'm going back. I'm going back to the
time
apartment.
For a nap.
Yeah, I need and it's funny too. I don't know. I'm just talking a lot about, but you know what? Even though you think this might be boring, I can kind of tie this in on my survival guide. But I get so sweaty because it's a good 15 to 20-minute walk, depending on where our screening is from our
Okay.
apartment. So, you know me, I get so hot and sweaty
Mhm.
doing all that walking. So, like, T and I were doing laundry like every day. so thank goodness, our apartment had a washer and a dryer.
Yeah,
But
really.
it was so funny.
Okay.
But yeah, I think I will pull up some honorable mentions real quick.
All right. Do tell.
Okay. You asked me in the horror queer episode if there is probably like another horror movie that I was wanting to mention. Well, I think I should mention The Substance.
Okay.
I did see The Substance at TIFF. The Substance is already out nationwide in theaters.
Okay.
But yeah, it is a horror, a very bloody horror film about a fading celebrity who uses this black market like serum that replicates your cells and creates a younger version of you. And
like cloning, or just makes you look younger?
Just makes you. It just creates a younger version of yourself. And the two main characters are Elizabeth Sparkle, who's played by Demi Moore, and she plays a middle-aged, once very famous exercise. She does like exercise. She has like an exercise show kind of, yeah. And but because of her age, the company execs want her out.
Of course.
Yeah. So this is where she discovers like this black market substance, and then out of that comes Sue, who is played by Margaret Qualley, and Sue is that young 20-something year old that the studio and the executives are looking for.
Of course.
Yeah. So that is the whole premise of the film.
Sounds creepy.
It is directed by Corley Fargate, and also Corley Fargate does the screenplay. And I recommend it to any horror enthusiast.
Okay.
And I also, but I want to stress, and most horror enthusiasts, we have strong constitutions, but I still just want to put out that warning. You really need to have a strong constitution to see this movie.
Oh,
because this movie has everything.
Blood and guts and everything.
Not only, I mean, it's almost like autopsy type kind of stuff in it.
Wow.
And not just that, there's all kinds of gross kind of food stuff in it too, and which could sort of make you lose your appetite, and combined with all the bloody stuff already that's in it, and
you're gonna leave the theater a little queasy, I guess.
And it's one of those movies too where the way it's shot, it's just the close-ups are so just intense close-ups. You see people just like
it's a very claustrophobic film.
Shoving food in their mouth, and you can see like all their teeth and all them chewing and that kind of stuff, and it is, and it's very psychological too. It's very psychological too, because the Elizabeth, the Demi Moore character, she is a victim of society's the pressures that they put on women and their appearances, and since she has become this woman of age, it's like she is sort of stuck in that hole. Like, I have to look like this, it's so The Substance, it is out in theaters. Go see it. Make sure you have a strong constitution.
Yeah, don't expect to eat dinner afterwards. Anything else that you want to mention? Any other honorable mentions?
I think I will mention something.
All right.
I will discuss The Life of Chuck. The Life of Chuck, I liked it enough, but it wasn't really anything that I wanted to talk about in depth, like the other films that we just talked about.
Okay.
It did win TIFF's Audience Award.
Okay.
And it's funny, a lot of the TIFF Audience Award films I've never been that crazy about.
Mm.
American Fiction won the Audience Award last year. I liked it. I wasn't super crazy about it. Like I wasn't really losing my mind over it. People seem to be kind of losing their minds over Life of Chuck.
Okay.
It is directed by Mike Flanagan. And Mike Flanagan is quite famous, for many, many things, including Haunting of Hill House, Midnight Mass, Doctor Sleep. I mean, he himself has sort of become like this master of horror.
Okay.
The film stars Tom Hiddleston and Chiwetel Ejiofor. Mark Hamill is in it. And it is based on a Stephen King novella.
Oh,
and it's told in 3 chapters, and it's about the life of this ordinary guy named Charles Krantz. And it's got some. There's Tom Hiddleston has some fun in the middle of the film. There's like some fun sing and dance type of stuff in it, but yeah, it's kind of like the sci-fi fantasy drama, somewhat.
Stephen King's novellas tend to be movie-fied easily or more appealingly.
Yeah. I mean, it is appealing, an appealing film. One thing that I will say about TIFF Audience Award winners, they're the types of films that sort of hit all the right buttons. It's just it's a very audience appeal. They're always sort of audience appeal.
It's the popularity award,
and this is a very audience appeal kind of movie. So I don't know. I don't know that I want to really say much about it other than
it was okay.
It was okay. It's a good film. I just wasn't nuts about it. I just didn't lose my mind over it.
Not like everybody else in the world.
Everyone pulls out a solid performance. Chiwetel Ejiofor, Mark Hamill. It's fun to see Mark Hamill in anything. And I can't think of anything other.
It just didn't hit you.
Anything else to say about it? Yeah. But I know it'll be a while till it hits theaters. I'm pretty sure it's got a distribution deal, but I think it's just gonna be a few months till it hits the mainstream theaters.
It'll probably show up somewhere around the holiday season.
Oh yes, it was Neon acquired it. Yeah, so it's gonna be one of the. So I don't know, but I don't know. Sometimes Neon takes a little bit before they like to really like wet your whistle, before.
Okay.
But yeah, those are my honorable mentions. The Substance, Life of Chuck.
All right then.
It's funny, The Substance. Brian, my buddy in the GTA, that was his TIFF film. That was his, of all the films that he saw. He doesn't attend as an industry person. He buys public tickets.
Yeah.
But he still sees like 10 things.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's right down the street. Might as well.
Well, not down the street. And he lives in the suburbs, and God, traffic any day, any time of day. Traffic is horrible on Garner Expressway. At QE. Queen Elizabeth, that shit is always a mess any time of day. And so it's I think he even takes I think he even takes the train now because parking is just outrageous.
Oh yeah.
But no, he's a serious film guy, which I think fuels like our bond, like our friendship, which is why he's such a homie of mine now. But I was really surprised to hear that The Substance was his favorite film of TIFF. I mean, he loved Anora, but then he saw The Substance, and he's like, he sent me this text. He goes, after I've had some distance from TIFF, he goes, I think Substance is my TIFF movie. I was like, really? Okay.
Enjoyed the goriness of it all, I guess.
He can watch anything. I've always said I can watch anything, but I think he stomachs things better than I do. So
just got to keep reminding yourself it's all just a film.
Well, unless you have anything you want to
No, I think that's it. We've relived your Toronto TIFF experience. And look forward to doing it again next year, I'm sure.
yeah, I've in these 3 episodes I have discussed 7 films that stayed with me.
Mm-hmm.
And again, look out for my my tied at number 1 Anora as a written piece. So
Excellent. Well, thank you for watching this episode of Bad Pop Song. Hopefully you enjoyed our wonderful trip into TIFFdom. Yes. Be sure to check out our website, badpopsong.com, for the latest episodes, links to the songs, films, and whatever else we discuss, as well as your article on Anora.
yes.
Tune in next time when Bo continues to take us on a wondrous magical carpet ride of musical cringe or filmdom or whatever else is coming up next. Wait and see.
And again, if you are watching on YouTube, please like and subscribe.
Yes. Every little bit helps, you know?
I'm Bo.
And I'm Dan.
Stay groovy.
Have fun.